Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make Murder Mystery 2. This is part 2 of the series and stuff. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you guys showed on part 1. Saw all the love and that you guys wanted part 2, so of course I did you guys with part 2. The following, well, I guess, I'm recording this a week after, but I'm guessing, yes, but I'm probably dropping this like 2 weeks after. But anyway, and stuff. So part 2, I kind of forgot what I added. So I pretty much I added more stuff onto the round. I guess pretty much is the best way to phrase it. But let's go ahead, we'll jump straight into it. So first things first. So I added more stuff to like the round and everything, right? So first we're gonna need a remote event to communicate between the server and client. Head to replicated storage, insert a remote event. You can just go ahead and rename this event to be core event, right? Then, as you can see, I now have a weapons folder inside of server storage. So you could just, all you gotta do, plus icon, insert a folder, name it to be weapons, and then just have your weapons inside. I didn't make these weapons, I got them from the toolbox. Literally go to the toolbox, search up, you can search up like murder mystery weapons or murder mystery knife, murder mystery revolver, or just get regular ones. It really doesn't matter. Like ignore all the stuff inside. The stuff inside doesn't even matter because I removed the scripts. I deleted the scripts and everything, so they don't even work. It's just a matter of just having them so that they can just be given to players. So name one knife for the murderer and the other revolver for the sheriff, right? So then that's it, and then now we can just get to the coding stuff. Okay, so we'll be at the local script for about 5 seconds. After the core GUI variables, create a variable for our new remote event. So we'll say core event is equal to game.replicated storage, wait for child, core event. Then we're going to scroll down and then we're going to add a new function. We're going to say core event dot on client events connect function in parentheses put event type comma arg1, which is short for argument number one, enter. Then you'll use an if statement. You'll say if event type is equal to in quotation marks round, enter. Then you'll say message is equal to arg1 because we're going to use it for multiple different things for like, oh, the round is starting, oh, the round is ending, you know? So then we'll just say core GUI dot round frame dot round text label dot text is equal to message. Then we're done with the local script. Okay, moving on to the server script. Again, we'll be here for about 5 seconds. So we're going to change things. So we're going to change things over here. So first things first, you can really just delete all this code because we're gonna change this. Then the module script will handle most of this stuff. Um, so let's go ahead and create a level variable. We're not even gonna, or not level variable, sorry, level value and stuff. We're not even gonna use this. I just want to go ahead and just create it and stuff. So you guys are like, okay, we got levels, so we can see the player's level since we're gonna have that, right? We'll handle leader stats in like another video, but yeah. So level is equal to instance.name. Let's just go ahead and let's just get it, let's just put our feet in the door, I guess. So it's gonna be a number value. Level.name is of course equal to level dot value by default. I mean, maybe you start off with 0 in your game, but I think most people just do 1 and then parent would be player, right? And then last thing you're gonna say core module dot pre-round check. It's a function we're about to start or about to create, I should say. So then go to the module script. We're going to change some things and add about 2 new functions. So we're going to add 3 variables to the top. Enter. First, create a variable for our weapons folder inside of server storage. So it's equal to game.server storage, wait for child, weapons. Then let's create a variable for our core event, just like we did on local script. So core event is equal to game.replicated storage, wait for child, core event. Then let's create a variable to keep track of whether or not the round is started. So round started is equal to false. I believe we have this on the server script, so oh yeah, you guys can delete this by the way. So we just need this in the module. We're gonna let the module handle things. So on the start round function, at the beginning, obviously we're gonna set round started set to true. Then we're gonna create another variable. So we're gonna create a variable called old sheriff. Now, if you're wondering what's the point of this and stuff, right? Sheriff will tell us two things, right? The sheriff variable will tell us two things: if whether or not there is a sheriff, and two, if there is a sheriff, who is the sheriff, right? If you set to no, no sheriff and stuff. If it's not set to no, then that means it's set to a player's username, which means that person's the sheriff, right? Now, the reason we're doing this with sheriff and not murderer is because you can transfer ownership of the gun to other people. Like, like if the sheriff dies, then another person can pick up the gun and become the sheriff and stuff. So that's why we need to keep track of who the current sheriff is and stuff. Murderer, when the murderer dies, it's just over. There's no, transferring or anything like that. But yeah. So then we're gonna go down here to the for loop, and then now we're gonna add the weapon stuff, right, that I mentioned. So right here we're gonna give the murderer and sheriff their respective weapons. So create a variable for the knife, so it's equal to weapons dot knife clone. Make sure you clone it, very important. Knife dot parent, put it in the player's backpack. Then you're just gonna do the same thing for the sheriff, but obviously with the gun this time. So gun is equal to weapons dot gun, or sorry, not gun, revolver clone. Then gun dot parent is equal to player dot backpack, right? Boom. And then after this if statement, we're gonna start adding a whole bunch of stuff. So after this if statement, right, we're then going to fire their mode event to let players know that okay, the round is starting. Core event, fire all clients. In quotation marks, you're gonna put round, then comma, and then you're gonna put the message. So round in progress, right? Then you're gonna set up a variable to keep track of the died function is equal to nil. So then we're gonna set its value. So died function is equal to player dot character dot oh I bet wrong thing character dot humanoid dot died connect function close parentheses enter. Okay, so the died function, as you guys can probably tell, when a player dies, this function will be triggered. The reason why we need a variable for it is because we need to be able to disconnect the function. The reason we need this died function is for three different outcomes. If the murderer dies, we need to end the round. If the sheriff dies, we need to create a part. We're gonna create a part and then set its position equal to wherever the sheriff, died at, so that a player can walk over it, step on the part, and claim and get the gun and stuff and become the new sheriff. Then also, if an innocent person dies, then we're just setting them back to the spectator team, right? So this is why we need this function. But keep in mind, we need to disconnect this function. We need to make sure we disconnect this function if the round has ended and stuff, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say if round started is equal to false, then you'll say died function disconnect, right? Because then let's say like somebody resets their character or whatnot, and stuff. We don't want this function to be triggered to where it's like, oh, the sheriff just died. Like, no, it's everything is wiped and everything like that, right? So it'll just wrap this function up. So then now we're gonna now we're gonna handle the three different cases. So first, let me just double check, make sure we are good. Okay, we're good. So first is the murderer. So we're gonna say if player.name is equal to murderer, enter, right? Then if that's the case, all we simply have to do is just do core module dot end round, which obviously I'm gonna obviously we're gonna create this function stuff in a little bit. So end round. That's just it. It's just end round. Then else if player.name is equal to sheriff. So the sheriff one is the most complex one. So enter. So if the sheriff if the sheriff has died, we're gonna create a variable to keep track of their current position or to record their current position, I should say. So we're then gonna say player.character we're gonna say player.character humanoid root part dot position, right? Then we're going to create the weapon part, which is players can walk over this to claim the gun and become the new sheriff. So instance.new. You can customize the part to your liking or whatnot. I'm just making a basic part. So weapon part dot position is of course equal to character. Oh my bad. Wait, no, this variable is supposed to be called character position, not character. If I know how to spell. Okay. There we go. Okay. Then weapon part, obviously we want to make sure it's anchored. Weapon part dot brick color is equal to brick color dot new. I'm just gonna make it blue, so really blue. And then we're gonna parent it to the workspace. And then after that, we're going to set the old sheriff's team. We're gonna reset their team, so player.team is now equal to game.teams dot innocent, or sorry, not innocent, spectator, because they're out of the game now. So spectator. Then we'll update the old sheriff variable to the current sheriff. And then after that, we will set the current sheriff variable to nil until a player comes to claim the gun, which means we'll then have a new sheriff, which we'll then need to handle. So we will then say weapon part dot touched connect function in parentheses put hit enter. Then you'll say if hit, we need to make sure this is a character. Find first child humanoid root part enter. This is how we know it's so players then will say create a variable for their character. So character is equal to hits dot parent. Now don't get these confused, right? This is for the old sheriff. This would be the new sheriff. Well, this may be the new sheriff. We need to run some checks first and stuff, right? So then we'll have touched player. So this is the player that made contact with the part. So we'll say, oh, there's a function called, I didn't even know that. Get player from character. Oh wow, I did not know that. Or at least I just forgot. But anyway, so we could just say game that player is fine for child, character name, or just get player from character, whichever works for you. Then you'll just say first we need to make sure if character dot name is not equal to murderer, because obviously the murderer shouldn't be able to become the sheriff, right? And of course, in character dot name is not equal to old sheriff. Like, because let's say that like the character dies and like there's like a 5 or 10 second delay window from them respawning. We don't want their body parts to collide with the part and then it thinks that the old sheriff is trying to become the new sheriff because their body parts, their dead body is just touching the part. So run those two checks. If not, then we can just go ahead and just update the sheriff variable. So this is our new character, right? So we'll say character dot name. Then we'll update their team. Touch player dot team is equal to game dot teams dot sheriff, right? Then we use it. Then we will give them their gun. So we'll say new gun, right? We'll say new gun is equal to, and then same logic, guys. Weapons dot revolver clone new new gun dot parent is equal to touch player dot backpack, and then we'll destroy the weapon. We'll destroy the weapon part. That's because it's been claimed, right? And then if they die, and then if that sheriff dies again, then it'll just repeat the cycle. So then you're gonna skip three ends, and then you're just gonna throw an else, right? Because this is murderer, this is sheriff, and if not, then this means just an innocent person died. So then you're just gonna say player dot team is equal to game dot team spectators, right? Then we will get a total innocent count to see if the game needs to end. So innocent count sets variable to 0 by default. Then we'll just count real quick for j comma f in I pairs. And then you'll just say game dot players get children enter. Then you'll say if f dot team is equal to game dot teams dot innocent enter, then innocent count plus equal 1, right? Because then that means, okay, an innocent player is alive. Then skip the two ends. As long as obviously one is alive, then the round should continue. But if innocent count is equal to 0, then that means no innocent players are alive. Wait. Oh, I just realized. Oh, I'm stupid. I just realized a mistake I made. My stuff. This only keeps track of innocent. It actually doesn't keep track of sheriff. It just occurred to me that if all the innocent players are dead, but if the sheriff is still alive, it's just the sheriff and the murderer, then it would glitch and then just end the round. Oh, okay. I literally just thought about that. Okay. Um, we'll just say we'll just call this. I don't want to say innocent or sheriff. That's a very long variable name. We'll just say players alive, right? But you guys know that this only represents the innocent and the sheriff. This excludes the murderer. So let's say this. If f.team is equal to game innocent or f.team is equal to game.team.sheriff. And then spaced out. There we go. Okay, there we go. Then players alive, and then boom, and then, okay, there we go. So if that's equal to 0, because yeah, because I just realized it would have glitched and stuff that way. That way we can keep track of the innocent and the sheriff. So if it's equal to 0, then I'm just going to end the round. So end round, which we're about to create this function in a little bit. So boom. Okay, now we're going to create two other functions. We're done with that. We're done with the whole start round function that had the most complex logic. Now for these other two much simpler ones. So first up we have end round. So function core module dot end round, close parentheses, enter. So you'll fire the remote event to let all the players know. Fire all clients, round, comma, round ending, right? And then obviously you update the round started variable to be false. Then you'll reset all the players and their teams and everything. So I pairs, you'll say game dot players get children, enter, right? Then create a variable for the player is equal to v, and then their character is equal to player dot character, right? Then you'll reset their team, or you'll set their teams, I should say, is equal to game dot teams, and there everybody should be a spectator, and then you'll just reset everybody. I feel like this is just the safest approach. That way they'll just spawn back in the lobby. they'll just spawn back in the lobby. Everybody's team will reset. Nobody will have any weapons or anything they're not supposed to have, and things of that nature. Um, Send around. Then after the round ends, we're just gonna wait about. You can put however much time you want. I'm just gonna put 10 seconds, and then after that, we'll begin the core module. We'll begin the pre-round check, which we're about to create that function real quick. Pre-round check, and that covers checking the player count and whatnot. So we'll then set up this function. We'll say function core module dot pre-round check, close parentheses, enter, right? We then fire the mode events, all clients, round, comma, station mark. You could just say, waiting on players, right? I think that's what it's, yeah. You could just say like waiting on players, right? Then of course you'll get a player count is equal to number symbol, game.players, get children, right? Then you'll say if not round started, if the round hasn't started yet, and player count is greater than or equal to, put whatever number you want here, it's up to you and stuff. So I'm just gonna put 3 for me, enter, and then you could just set round started equal to true. And then after that, you're gonna wait about 5 seconds. And then yeah, and then from there you can begin the start round stuff, and then boom, there we go. Now we got everything in the loop. Okay, let's go ahead and test to make sure everything works. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, just simply read the description and find out how to gain access to that. This includes this one as well as any other ones. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and begin a test. With the simulated players and everything like that. So this is just one player, so nothing's gonna happen as of yet. As you can see, I'm on the spectator team. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add 4 more other players. Give it a second, and then they will all be added to the game. As you can see, that's an error on a different. That's like a Roblox script. I don't know where that's coming from. Um, Wait, why did it? Oh, I didn't press enter. Oh, wait, 4 enter. Okay, there we go. Oh boy, I thought it not crashed. Where play? Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. So as you guys can see, we have a full set. There we go. Round is in progress. Okay. So as you guys can see, player 1 is the sheriff. I have the revolver. Player 4, player 4 is the murderer. He should have the knife, and then everyone else is just an innocent player, right? Then look what happens if I reset. As you can see, there's the part. If I switch to which one is the murderer? I'm trying to think or I'm trying to see, I guess. Which one is the murderer? Not this one. Okay, this one. Yeah, and as you can see, he has a knife, right? I cannot become the new sheriff, right? And then as you can see, the sheriff that died is now a spectator. But if I switch to an innocent player and they touch the part, what's going on? The server attempting to touch player.team. Attempt to index no with team. What? Hit dot. Oh my goodness, I'm so stupid. My bad, guys. My bad. My bad. Okay. Yeah, no, that's my bad, guys. Okay, so everything is working. I'm just a little bit stupid. That's my bad. I, for some odd reason, accidentally put characters equal to hit dot parent. That is not what that is not what that is supposed to say. Wait, wait. No, it is. If hit dot parent find first child character is equal to, yeah, that. Oh, wait, no, I'm dumb, I'm dumb. It's this part, That's why I didn't have this part. My bad, guys. My bad. I gotta get it. Get player from character. Okay, I put the wrong thing here. I put player as in like this is the original play. Like this is the old sheriff. I just realized. Yeah, this is supposed to say character. I didn't even put a character. I put the. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it should work now. If I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna go ahead and just start with 5 people off rip. 5 players. So we know that if the sheriff dies, we know that stuff works. We just need to make sure that, okay, that the innocent players can, become the new sheriff and stuff. And just test the end round functionality. Okay, so everyone's here, waiting on players. The round should start. Boom, the round has started. Okay, now if the sheriff, once I figure out whoever's the sheriff, I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. Sheriff dies. Round is still in progress. Switch, and of course, switch to the murderer. Switch to an innocent player, right? Touch it, boom. I am now the. I'm probably gonna have to figure out why, or not why. I'm just gonna have to figure. I'm gonna have to put a variable to prevent that from happening. But that aside, as you can see, they become the new sheriff. Now, once the murderer dies, I'm not gonna go through and reset every single. That would just take too long and stuff. So I'm just gonna reset the murderer, and the round ends, and then everybody dies and stuff. The round ends, and then it'll just repeat. It'll just repeat the cycle. So yeah, as you guys can see, there were definitely some bugs that need to be fixed. Like I need to get rid of the part and stuff if the round is ended and stuff, and then it'll just restart with the next round in progress. But yeah. So I will go ahead and fix that right now actually. So let's do that real quick. Okay. Let's do that real quick. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll add an if statement. We'll go right here. We'll say mm, if touched player that backpack find first child. What is it called? Oh, it's revolver, right? Revolver or character find first child. Revolver, right? Okay. If um uh wait, if not, what do you say if not? Oh, yeah, we'll just put not in front of here. Yeah. So if we don't find the revolver in the player's backpack or in the character, then they don't have it. Then you could just cut this or copy and paste it, whatever you want to call it. Okay, boom. That way it shouldn't duplicate. That should fix the duplicating issue. So now it should just it'll only give them the gun if they don't already have it. And the other thing was that the weapon part still existed and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. So go right here. We're gonna give it a name real quick. We're gonna say weapon part is equal to part dot name is equal to weapon part. Then what we'll do is we'll go to the end round function. I'll go ahead and clear that out. We'll do this after this. We'll go find it real quick. Weapon part, workspace, find first child, weapon part. If weapon part, then weapon part destroy. That way we'll do some cleanup and yeah. But as always though, if you guys find any bugs or any issues or anything like that, glitches, just let me know in the comments. Discord doesn't really matter. I'll figure it out and stuff, and then just show you guys the fixes and whatnot in the future videos and stuff. But but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and stuff. If you have and you've been enjoying the Murder Mystery 2 series, definitely leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Again, if you want access to this script or any of my other scripts or models, just simply read the description to figure out how to gain access to that. So thank you for all the love and support you guys been showing on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Got more videos coming for you guys soon and stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.